Okay, so this question comes loaded with an assumption that indeed it is a new crop of um, or a new generation of political leaders that are needed. That is debatable and that is contestable. If there's ever such a word as contestable, but it's up for contestation basically. So look, South Africa is a very interesting political um, scenario. 25 years after democracy. Now there are studies that have shown what happens throughout the continent of Africa and in Asia in terms of democracies. We know that 20 years is the indicator that you can actually tell the health or the illness of a democracy in any given state. So, in the case of Africa, we know that it is unprecedented, the track record of dictators, authoritarians, presidents who are elsewhere are called presidents for life, and right. But in South Africa, I think we've got a very interesting carrot of of a political dilemma. Firstly, we were a settler colony, so we've been under a government for so many years. Um, in this case, I'm talking about the apartheid regime since 1948. That has put what today is the modus operandi of our current contemporary politics, from parliament, from the high court, passing rules and regulations. The various legal jurisdictions that we have to adhere to, and all of that. So none of what we're doing post 1994, when the African National Congress, comes to power through President Nelson Mandela, none of what we are busy with today is anything that has moved systematically from the previous regimes. The instruments are still the same. All that has happened is we've changed chairs. The formerly oppressed have now come into power and have taken the chairs of the former settler colonizers. And the settler colonizers have taken an ambiguous position, which is really enjoy an economic prominence where they get to still dictate to the ruling party, and we all know politics is a bedfellow of economics. The two make love to one another. They two do not cannot function without the other. So we have a scenario where even if, as the question that is posed, we have this new generation of up and coming. Say you want to throw in the generational issue of have them at 35 years or have them less than 45 years and get all the old timers and old mothers out. All that is going to happen is those newbies are going to inherit a structure, a system, houses of parliament, houses of the judiciary, right? That still is not of their own thinking. So they can't really change the system. All that they can do is really bicker on individual petty partisan mainstream politics. And that is not a solution. That's not what is going to take South Africa or any other state forward. What is needed is, if they called their conversation the talks about talks, which was CODESA, back in the early 90s, then I think what we need is we need to come back to that same table. We need to have a modern day CODESA, where we're gonna actually thresh out what is the significance of the age limit of public officials, the race issue. What's the significance of having white politicians in office, black politicians in office, coloreds. Let's talk about these things, because the only way we can have a constituency agreeing to being governed or to being ruled by a particular individuals within the political class is not because of, how charming, or if these people have the kind of money, because we all know now we're going the American way of, if you can pay, you definitely know you're going to be able to foot the bill for the advertising, fitting it, getting those stadiums filled, taking out those free T-shirts, giving up those freebies. But that is not the kind of direction we want to go, or that we should be going. The direction, ideally, is, sadly, it's not going to be a fast process. We need to have education at the center of the dialogue. And again, that introduces the whole hotbed and the hot topic of what is the current status quo of our education system in South Africa. If we can listen to the voices of decolonizing the curriculum, and we agree that, okay, perhaps we need to take a more nuanced position, a position that says, let's not rush, even though people are urgent, people want change now. But sadly, we can't do a skip and donor, a one size fits all kind of, situation. We need a more cool, calm, collected approach. We need to involve as many people, particularly those who don't agree on the status quo, together, and thrash out within their differences what can they collectively at least agree to as a beginning premise. And then while that is implemented, then continue the difficult conversation, which is going to be longer, of what exactly is the South Africa we're looking for. Because until we agree on that, everybody that's going to be talking, we're not going to be talking to each other, we're going to be talking past each other, because of all the issues of race, issues of capitalism, issues of class, all these things that have always been reasons why as a society we've been different and we've not been able to unite and find each other. So in this question, I think this question is actually an invitation for us to take more seriously, diverse views, diverse insights from everybody that's involved, who's got a vested interest in a healthy South African society.